Hi there. In this lecture, we want to challenge ourselves with ASA. We've done this part before. We emulate ASA, we connect our ASA to our system, transfer ASTM image into ASA, configure the related configurations, and connect via ASTM to our firewall. Our firewall is now ready and we could configure it via ASTM and from command prompt. For the first phase, I want to put a switch here. We want to have two other zones. This zone is management zone. This zone will be internal zone, and I would place another zone and name it DMZ or demilitarized zone. I put a VPC here and connect it to the switch. Then connect the switch to Ethernet 1 of my firewall. Start my VPC and configure it with IP address of 192.168.10.1, for example. The gateway is 192.168.10.254 with the subnet mask of 24. Now I want to configure my ASA interface, which is Ethernet 1, via ASTM. We configure our first ASA interface in command prompt, and I want to do the other one's configuration in ASTM. To configure an ASTM interface, you should go to configuration zone and select interfaces, and then select your desired interface and click edit. You will see this window in your system. First of all, you have to specify a name for your interface. I put it internal. You have to specify the security level. I put it 0 here. Most of the time, the most security level is for internal zones because we want to secure our internal zones from any other zones. But for this scenario, I just want to assign the same security level for internal and DMZ because I have an idea in my brain. So I put the interface IP 192.168.10.254 with this subnet mask and enable this interface. When you click OK, ASTM warn you about security level change. You say OK and click apply and wait while these configurations deliver to ASA. And this window will appear and your configurations will deliver to your ASA. Now you have an internal zone or internal interface. You have a management interface with the related IP addresses. Now expect that PC1 could see its default gateway, which is the IP address of our ASA, 192.168.10.254. There we go. The connection between our PC and our ASA is now okay. We go to the next step. We put another Ethernet switch here and put another VPC here. Connect my VPC to switch and connect switch to Ethernet 2 of ASA. Start the VPC and put the IP address of 192.168.20.1, the gateway of 192.168.20.254 and 24 masks. Now I go to Gigabit Ethernet to select edit, put the name of DMZ here and assign the security level of 0. Assign the IP address of 192.168.20.254, 24-bit masks and enable interface and click OK. And now apply. Now expect that PC2 could ping the related interface of the ASA, which is 192.168.10.20.254, and the connection between this PC and the ASA is okay now. But if I ping from PC1 the IP address of PC2, which is ping 192.168.20.254, you will see that there is timeout between these two PCs. Both of them are directly connected to ASA and ASA could ping both of these PCs, but ASA does not redirect ICMP messages between these two PCs. It's a security device. It's not a router by default. So let's do something. First of all, let's check what could we do for this. One of our chance to be successful in this scenario is this option. Enable traffic between two or more interfaces which are configured with the same security levels. You see that internal and DMZ are both have the security level of 0. So I click enable here and click apply and waiting. Okay, now let's ping PC2. You will see that again we do not have connections. This is because ASA by default does not allow sending traffics without inspection, and we have to have an inspection service policy. To ASA allows us to send our traffic between different zones. We could configure this service policy from the command prompt and from ASDM. In ASDM, it's a wizard. In configuration, firewall, service policy rules, here you could select add, and a wizard is start, and you go through this wizard and define your service policy. But I want to do it in command prompt because I want to show you the structure of a service policy. There is a structure that you could use it in Cisco devices. To have service policies, first of all, we have to have class maps. Class maps are our matching criteria. You write these class maps to specify your traffic. Then you have to write policy maps. The policy maps tells the device to what to do. Then you could join the class map and policy map in a service policy. And in service policy, you will say that if you see this traffic, do this. Let's do this configuration. First of all, I have to write an access list for matching my traffic. So I go to global configuration mode and say access list ICMP ACL and extend it and say permit ICMP any. I write my access list in the first place. Then I have to apply this access list into an interface. So I say access group, I write my ACL's name, ICMP ACL, and then I want to apply it in internal bound or inbound traffic on interface Ethernet, gigabit Ethernet interface internal. We have to specify the name of our interface. Then we are going to write our class map. So I say class map, I name my class map, for example, ICMP CM, for example. And then here I want to match the traffic. I match it with an access list, match with access list, ICMP ACL. We do our class map phase. Then we go to policy map, say that policy map and name it ICMP PM or policy map. And then we say class and specify our class map name, ICMP CM. Then the golden rule is here, and it is inspect ICMP. Before that, let me show you that we don't have any service policy rules yet. And when I press enter now, and after that, our final stage is defining the service policy, ICMP, policy map, name, and global keyword. Now, if we see here and press refresh, you will see that some things happen here, and a policy which inspects the ICMP traffic is defined here. Now I expect that we could ping PC2 from PC1 192.168.21 and vice versa. In PC2 we could ping 192.168.10.1. The connection between these two PCs are OK now, and they will see each other only for ICP. If you want to have other connections with other protocols, you have to define your service policies and the connection rules. GNS3 could help you to practice many security scenarios. If you have internet connections in your systems, you could connect the internet connection network adapter to a cloud here and connect it to ASA and do the related configurations and connect ASA to internet and check your security rules from external, for example, to internal via GNS3 and many other security practices. I want to finish my scenarios of this course in this lecture, and I want to ask you to send me feedbacks first, and then if you want to simulate a scenario in GNS3 and you could not, or you wish me to do this for you, please don't hesitate to connect me and ask me to do this, and I will do this for you as soon as possible. I promise you. So in this final lecture, I hope this lecture and this course helps you to improve your knowledge, and see you in other lectures and courses.